think the most valuable skill that any person can have is learning how to keep your nervous system calm under any circumstances. Even when you have outer circumstances that seem extremely familiar, trying to get you to feel ways that you have felt before. Everyone's operating off of a program more than they are operating off of what they do or do not want to be doing at all times. If you can learn to stay unfazed by all of reality in front of your eyes and how things happen, it amazes me how everyone will put up with so much just so that they don't have to be alone. No matter what it is, whether you're going to distract yourself, put yourself into some space, we do everything that we can to not be by ourselves. We're not designed to be on our own. We need community, we need social interaction. Like, those things are extremely important. When we try to replicate that on the internet, it doesn't work. Psychological degree, it might, but from a biological standpoint, you are not actually receiving the level of energy you would need to have a human connection with another person. That still leaves this sense of unfulfilledness, and that's not just being on the internet, but that's anything that induces you to really not sit with yourself. Whether you want to or not, whatever you have inside of you is gonna have to come out. So when you're trying to heal through things or you're trying to get through things, you're gonna have to feel those emotions. There is no getting around feeling or thinking about whatever it is that you don't like or don't prefer. Even when you start trying to do the effort to think of other things on the opposite side and release it and get it out of you, you have to recognize when you're still doing that there's something that might come up that causes you to kind of have to reflect or maybe feel some things that have been sitting down in the same spot with you for a while, things that you might not have spoken of. I feel it. I don't want to be by myself. In a positive way, I have so much that I could provide to a community, streaming video games and making music and having fun on the fucking internet, and somehow that is what my calling is right now, and I really can't be upset about that. It is definitely very, very lonely, and I don't want it to be like that. But I also understand what it's trying to teach me. There is so much noise, and other people are a lot of noise, especially whenever you're trying to change or transform in your life. It's important to know what loneliness is also trying to teach you, because every condition you get in your experience is trying to teach you something. Lessons are not supposed to be something that we just like or don't like. It's whatever is meant for you. Alignment is the one thing that no human being gets to walk away from inside of this lifetime. It's better not cause friction and just get in the ebb and flow of whatever it is that your current state is trying to teach you. And the faster that you can get through that, it's like levels in a video game. Like, once you get the point, you understand why you're there, and you stop getting emotional about it for any reason, that's when you actually get to overcome something. You get to change your conditions in your reality. But if you define yourself by your conditions, then your conditions will remain the same because you have identified with a present state of reality. When you identify with a present state of reality, that becomes your identity. Your identity builds your thoughts and your belief systems. Those two things are now how you show up every single moment in reality. Thus, you are creating reality from that vibration. Only way that you can uproot that is to not be affiliated with where you're at. Be affiliated with where you're trying to go, but understand that you're currently in some place for a reason. You might not have people around you for a reason. Maybe those people would literally be taking you away from what you're designed to do right now. The loneliness that I've been in on top of it all has been so ridiculously soothing that it even gave me enough room to step back farther than I ever have and get the hindsight that's really necessary to clean and cleanse out any noise inside of me, patterns, whatever else it is, nobody else reaffirming my reality in some way, state of being, figuring out now what way I'm going to operate so that I can show up properly to achieve my goals and, do things that nobody taught me to do. Nobody taught me how to systemize or be any way that I'm being now. If you have noise going on inside of your head, you first have to ask, is there anything in your outer world that's reaffirming those things? And I'm talking like, are you hearing people talk about these things? Are people saying things to you? This is definitely something that takes a while, because a lot of the narratives, your narratives form the belief system inside of your consciousness. And a lot of those are unconscious things. They are not conscious. They are things that you in your body believe more than you believe inside of your brain. And even if you start thinking around other things on the opposite side of how you want to think, what you want to think, and how you want to feel, your programs are going to be the primary mechanism until you deprogram those out of your body. The only way you're going to deprogram things out of your body or out of your mind is by changing the collective narrative and catching yourself saying the things that you have been saying. Because if you can identify that what you're telling yourself is just not true and it's just a narrative, you can, I mean, I feel like for me, that changes everything right there, because I can then in the moment be like, wait, hold on, I can tell myself something different here, because the thing I'm giving myself in my brain is literally just something I've told myself over and over again as a program. When you start identifying with something, that's when you become entangled with that specific thing. And when you are entangled with something, you have no way of ripping yourself apart, but by then focusing your energy more on it, you become more entangled with it. You have to change the entire narrative and story going on inside of your brain. A lot of that can come with reaffirmations. It can come with writing down things that you actually feel about those ways and things that you need to realize about yourself. Like, man, maybe I do feel this way. And if that's some way that I felt, like, at least I can get in tune with that, and now I can change that around. The other part of creationism is something that a lot of people are not taught. You have to realize everything inside of you can change. If you know it can change, then we start asking a different question. Where we put our attention is where we put our energy, and where we put our energy is what is going to manifest into us one way or another. Then I can ask, how do I get rid of it? I need to start saying the opposite of those things. If I feel like I'm scared, then I need to start being really courageous. Even if your conditions might be reaffirming some part of what you are telling yourself, if you can in that moment still say that that's not me and start changing it up. It's very interesting that some people think that everything that's going on with how they operate, whether they try to say that there's something wrong with me or not, they don't look at it as something malleable. But the brain and the body and every way that we operate is not concrete. In fact, our format as an entire biological intelligent species is to evolve. You're having one-sided conversations inside of your mind. If you're having one-sided conversations, is the same thing as painting a narrative. You're finding a reason to reattach your energy into something that only is the presence of you. But you have to call yourself out of it constantly. Anytime I find myself speaking to somebody inside of my head, even if it's recreating something from the past, you are still just having a conversation with yourself. When you have those conversations, it's like one of two things. Ask, why? Is there something unresolved that I need to talk about with this person that I never got to say? If I know that what I can say has nothing to do with the outcome changing anything, like even if I just don't need to get it out and I've said it a million times, if you can't sit with yourself, no matter how uncomfortable whatever it is that's going on inside of you is, could you ever expect to connect with another person? It would be impossible for you to actually connect with somebody else any deeper than you can connect with yourself. Most people don't know how to have a productive sense of tension inside of a conversation or talking about things that they believe or whatever else it is, because they can't handle the turnover when things start getting to an uncomfortable place, because then they start getting emotional, and that's whenever things completely change. All roads lead back to the same thing. If I tell myself I can't do something because I'm somehow not able to have any type of control over my body, if you tell yourself you can't, you won't. And if you say I can, then you will find a way. Whenever I get tattoos, which I've only had a couple of different tattoos, I did this thing before the first time I ever got a tattoo, where in my mind, I tried to like superhumanize myself. I would get myself into a meditative state and I would be completely unfazed by any of it. And I would transmute all of the energy that I feel into something that's like fueling the fire inside of me. I need to go get more brain cells, because they definitely died somewhere. Like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Do better. Grow brain cells. Go read a book. You should probably quit playing the game. I need you to go read a book. Yeah, I don't know what you lost. Your testosterone, maybe? Because you acting like a bitch. Hello, team.
Deep voice challenge.
Whoa, I'm not here to play that game.
Whoa. It's too late.
Get a little deeper if you want.
I don't know if I can get that deep, but I want to
go. Well, I can get real deep.
I want to go ocean deep. Let's get ocean deep.
I'm trying to get astronomically deep inside of your mama's ass. My chat said you are way too sus. It sounds like you're trying to seduce me. The whole point of getting really clear on what it is that you want is so that you can figure out what steps you need to take in your life to actually have that. Because if you don't, life will be created for you if you don't create it.
Manifest it.
The reason I don't really like saying that term and just saying creating it is because creating something requires you to have principles behind creation. Effort, consistency, emotionals, and mental changes. You have to undergo an entire nervous system change. You have to overcome some challenges, like manifesting. The process of that is just what you're always doing regardless. That's manifesting is a byproduct of your existence, right? You manifest just by your thoughts alone, just by your feelings. That's why I say Your future is created for you if you do nothing about it. You're a set
Right.
of programs that's already simulating what the future will be based on where you were in the past. When we're trying to work backwards, we also just have to be super realistic but somewhat delusional.
I ain't a motherfucking rapper, I be getting to the cheese. It's Let's go! Lick up on my dick, she call that shit a lollipop. And I'm gon' fucking blow up one day, I'ma make it pop. I'm still the fucking king, bitch, you call me Michael J.
Yo, fuck that. Go back some more.
Rewind. Check it out.
Wait.
You gotta
Many people living with him. This nigga got his baby mama living with his bitch, living with all his kids with him.
And then she's pregnant too. So we better have
Another kid with this girl.
Man.
Building this Roman Empire right now, bro. I swear.
Give me a couple more days, I'll promise that I'm gonna make my life so much different than it was last week. I'm gonna be with all of these bitches that I had tried to fuck about last week. Now they calling my phone saying, why the fuck you so up, nigga? I love your balls. They trying to drain me every night cause they love it when I put them on the wall. And now I'm making plaster, I'm making paper. Bitch, I'm out here just inside her fucking mouth like a now and later. You can't even see me later. Yeah, she fucking grab on my dick, we call that a little fucking snicker. She likes the way that it changes her life and makes it feel bigger. Bitch, she loves to fucking come over. We just spend some time together. Bitch, I'm out here making motion inside the clouds just like stormy weather. You ain't seen no motherfucker like me. Bitch, I've been inside my room trying to smoke some tree. Me and Q are actually making hits. Don't give a fuck about your little bitch, cause she just wanna hit my phone whenever she wants something. Called that a gold digger. I don't really give a fuck about all of these bitches trying to come up, won't pull triggers. Got all my fucking shooters pulling up with the fucking X.
The only reason music is as stale as it is because a lot of people aren't very talented. People have talent, they're good at what they do, but they don't have all of the other shining qualities that make up what a superstar is. So much more than just the music. The personality, how you present yourself, the energy you give to people, what you are able to be as a pinnacle for others. We're in a world now of pure authenticity. And because everything is losing value so much, the authenticity of self is the value inside of your phone. I would say monthly listenership is actually the deterring factor. So if you want to be at the top of the top, all of the superstar level people, all your top 10 songs, to have at least 2 of them with over 1 billion streams, you'll probably at minimum have around 25 or 30 million average monthly listeners. That would solidify you in the spot with the people who have had the most stream songs. Like, okay, if I said I want 1 million average listeners as a goal, which is great, but where does that put me at? Because I have seen plenty of people get to 1 million average listeners, but that's not the same as getting to 10. That's also what people don't know about being a musician, that you can literally just make a living off of Spotify. All you have to do is use the algorithm. The reason why I feel like I didn't fully invest myself into the rock stuff and just keep trying to churn that out is because I can feel that it's not really what people want to resonate with right now. Like, it's good and there's an audience, people listen, like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the broader demand for people to hear music right now, I don't think mainstream wise is really looking at the rock genre. You have to think of consciousness. People don't understand what the algorithm and music game is, and it is a game of consciousness. People have to be ready consciously for different developments that happen within music. That's why time periods get pointed out. During those time periods, a certain type of music was made and it resonated with people at a certain level. We're going to have another one of those surgences soon, but it's going to be in a way that I think most people have no idea.